friends. I'm Karen, and this is the Family Food for Moms podcast. We're talking about inspiration for family cooking and dining. Today I'm going to talk about some ways you can balance your blood sugar throughout the day. It's something I try to be aware of, and it's not easy for me to remember to do things the right way, but it makes a big difference to how I feel, how much energy I have. So making sure your blood sugar is balanced first thing in the morning is the best way to have it balanced throughout the day. When we say balanced blood sugar, that means not too high and not too low. Every time you eat, your blood sugar is going to go up. And if you eat things that have a higher glycemic index, like carbohydrates, they will make your blood sugar go up more. But there are things you can do, like the order you eat things in, to help with that. But I think it's important also to realize that we don't want to panic about things. Our blood sugar is meant to go up when we eat, and then it's meant to come down again when insulin is released by our bodies. So it's not a good idea to cut out carbs completely. Those aren't the kind of tips I'm going to talk about. What I'm going to talk about is to help your blood sugar not go up too much and then not crash after that, but stay more balanced throughout the day. Having a stable blood sugar where it doesn't go up too high or get too low will help you to maintain energy levels and reduce the risk of developing something like insulin resistance, where your body overuses insulin and then it's no longer effective. So one of the most effective ways to balance our blood sugar throughout the day is to do with what we eat and when we eat. So don't skip meals, because that can cause our blood sugar levels to drop too low. And then we won't have energy, we may feel shaky, and then we may overeat later and spike our blood sugars too much. So eating every 3 to 4 hours is very wise. Small balanced meals, so not a huge portion size, but a good amount to satisfy you. So a balanced meal would include protein. Protein helps stabilize your blood sugar by slowing down the absorption of the glucose into your bloodstream. Many good proteins, I'm sure you have your favorites. Meats, fish, eggs, legumes, nuts. Then, of course, fiber. High fiber carbs are great. They slow down digestion. They help prevent the blood sugar spikes. So whether it's sourdough, freshly ground grains, oats, quinoa, brown rice, vegetables, fruit, those are all fabulous. And healthy fats helps to balance out your meal. Avocados, olive oil, nut seeds, and then of course the fat that comes in meat and tallow. All of those are great in a balanced meal. So that's the most important thing. We want to make sure that we're satisfied. We want to make sure that our meals are satisfying to us. And the fat and protein help so much with that. Our bodies need the carbohydrates for good energy. So having all of those things as part of the meal is very good. The fiber helps with digestion. So a balanced meal is the way to go. Then it's very important to have a good breakfast. Not too long after you wake up, and definitely don't start the day with coffee if you want to avoid the shakes. It's good to have a decent breakfast that includes good protein, healthy fat, and good fiber. So for example, sourdough toast, blueberries on the side, and some fried eggs. Possibly even a piece of sausage or bacon if you want to make sure to get a good amount of protein. Greek yogurt, a little bit of maple syrup. Making the breakfast satisfying and pleasing to the body is really helpful, because then you're not going to want to snack the rest of the day. One of the things that causes blood sugar to go up is if we're constantly snacking and there's no time for it to reset in between. So breakfasts are very important. If you're one of those people who likes the same thing every day, then do that. And if you like a variety of things, try some different options. The Trim Healthy Mama pancakes are a favorite in this house, which are made from cottage cheese, eggs, and oats. And there's many different varieties of that. It's not easy to eat a good breakfast like this within half an hour to an hour of waking up. I find as a homeschool mom that there's a lot to do in the morning, and making breakfast for myself is not a high priority. So what I've done to help me is put a snack in my room the night before. Maybe a box of cashews or some fruit. And then when I wake up, I have a small amount of that. And then I have, I guess, like Lord of the Rings, a second breakfast, which will be my main meal for the morning. But I know that it's good for the metabolism to eat early in the morning, and so I've tried to do that. So some ideas for what you could do for breakfast. I mentioned egg. I like to do a vegetable and egg scramble. I don't really like the bread. So instead of that, I'll do zucchini and tomatoes. We'll just fry up a little bit of zucchini in some coconut oil, and then add some scrambled egg with milk and some herbs. And then I'll fry a little bit of tomatoes, sometimes mushrooms on the side. I mentioned the THM pancake. Those are great to have with cheese or a little bit of maple syrup and cinnamon. The Greek yogurt you can add berries to, and perhaps some nuts with your honey or maple syrup, or some homemade granola. Some people like chia pudding and adding protein powder. I've never done that, but you may like to do that. Omelets with cheese and vegetables inside. A protein smoothie, which includes Greek yogurt or cottage cheese with the fruit. Avocado on toast with egg. Then if you want to get fancy, smoked salmon with cream cheese. A little bit of lettuce with that. I've enjoyed that on occasion. Or eggs Benedict. Make the hollandaise sauce the night before, and then add it to your eggs with a little bit of bacon or ham underneath. And you can also make your vegetables, your mushrooms, your zucchini, the night before and keep it in the fridge, and then just warm it up in the morning. It's much faster. I'm also more likely to make something if I have part of it already prepared. So enjoy your breakfasts. I like to have some chamomile tea after breakfast, or green tea, although green tea is best if you wait an hour or two so that it doesn't affect your absorption of things like iron from your meal. But green tea is great in between meals and does help with digestion too. Otherwise, peppermint tea is great after your meal. That definitely helps with digestion. And chamomile tea is great as a calming drink for the day. All of those teas definitely help to balance your blood sugar. So herbal teas, green tea, those are great options to help with blood sugar balance during the day. Then another tip is to add some apple cider vinegar to your meal, or to have some, like a little capful that you just down. That is supposed to help insulin sensitivity and reduce your blood sugar spikes after eating. Staying hydrated through the day with water, with perhaps a bit of lemon or salt in, can help your blood sugar stay balanced. And of course, regular physical activity. It doesn't have to be a whole big workout, but just moving all the time. Every hour, if you're sitting, bounce on a mini trampoline, swing your arms, do some jogging on the spot, do some star jumps. All of those things help very much with your blood sugar not spiking too much. And then making sure that your sleep is good and that you get to bed early enough really affects blood sugar regulation. The first half of the night counts double, as they say. So anything before midnight is a very good contribution to your sleep time. Then, of course, it's not wise to consume a huge amount of carbohydrates, especially on their own. As we mentioned earlier, eating protein and fat and fiber with your carbohydrates is very helpful, and to manage the amount of carbohydrates that you eat at one time. Managing stress is important, deep breathing, just being aware of when you're stressed and helping yourself to relax, to go for a little walk, to have a change of scenery, to hug a tree. They say that touching anything in nature helps your body to not be so stressed and helps balance your blood sugar. Adding cinnamon to your food also helps with insulin sensitivity and balancing your blood sugar. So sprinkling a little bit on the pancake or mixing some into your oatmeal is a good thing. Then at night, we don't want our blood sugar to drop too low. If your blood sugar drops a lot, you often wake up and your liver runs out of fuel, and so you can't sleep. So it's a good idea to eat a balanced evening meal as well as a breakfast. So eat a meal that includes protein and healthy fats to help slow the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates. It's important to eat your carbs, but you can probably eat the least at dinner time. And the more good protein and fats you eat at night, that'll help sustain your energy through the night. Perhaps if you do struggle with low blood sugar overnight, you can even have a small bedtime snack, a little Greek yogurt, a small handful of nuts, a banana, something like that. They say cheese is great. Even if you wake up in the night, have a small nibble of cheese. It's supposed to help you get back to sleep. Cheese is a good one because it's protein and fat and carbohydrates all in one. Also avoid big heavy meals at dinner time. That can affect your sleep. Slow digesting carbs are good for nighttime. Whole grains, sweet potatoes, beans, lentils, those are helpful in balancing your blood sugar at night. Again, chamomile tea is great at bedtime to help soothe you, help you relax and be ready for bed. Other great teas, dandelion tea, nettle tea, red raspberry leaf tea. Try some variety. And then lastly, try not to worry about your blood sugar. Let it be something that you work on, that you're aware of, and that you mindfully work on. But don't let it be a stress. But definitely see your doctor if you do have concerns. I'm not a doctor, and this is not official medical advice. There's my disclaimer. But enjoying our meals to the point where we feel satisfied and energized, and we have a good amount of all the macronutrients in our meals, is definitely the best and wisest way to feel good, to balance our blood sugar, and to be healthy. And it's definitely the best way to not want to snack all the time, but to use the rest of our day for productivity and keep the eating to the meal times. We can also look at improving the quality of each of our macronutrients. Are we having good quality protein? Are we having good quality fruit and vegetables? And are we having good quality fats? Sometimes it's hard when there's a tight budget or we just don't feel like it. I have that now and then. So if you are going to eat a treat or a dessert or a chocolate bar, try to have a small amount and try to have it after a meal or with protein and fat. Sometimes I'll grab some olives and have some dried mango with it. Or if I'm going to have some chocolate, I'll grab some olives and some cheese with it. And it helps to balance the blood sugar. Also, I find how I eat one day will affect how I feel and the health of my blood sugar the following day. So just be mindful of that. Sometimes you may not feel good from the previous day, but just keep doing what you're doing and things will get better. So have fun with your meals and try not to stress about them too much. And hopefully you'll feel great with a balanced blood sugar. Thanks for listening. Have a good week. I'll see you next time.